Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we would talk about the Legend of Victory event today, the T-34-85 Partisan event, and how I'm going to grind it, and also some of the easier ways of kind of grinding it out. This T-34-85 event should not be as hard as many others that we've seen, so if you're used to these types of events, it'll be less of a grind. This one is basically the same grind as the Meteor FR9, which of course just came out. It's 35 mission score every 2 days, and also at the same time, that's for not too many stages, only 6 stages across the board. In order to get the coupon for it though, is 500,000 mission scores. So if you're going to focus on that, you basically have to nearly double the amount of grinding that you have to do. Now for me, 35,000 mission score isn't that bad. I would say ground is probably the hardest area in the game to grind out the marks of distinction. The main reason for this is just because of the fact that in air you have a lot of AI stuff you can go after. You also have like the simulated experience, and then also in naval your kind of actual multipliers are usually a lot higher. So even though the scores might be a bit larger, because the multipliers are higher, it's a little bit easier to do. So when it comes to multipliers in ground, they're usually not that high, and therefore you have to put in quite a lot of effort to be able to get access to the score. For example, the multipliers for ground modes, for RB it's 1.33, for SB it's 1.8, and for AB it's only 1. Now for me, I usually play ground RB, that's just because I'm the most comfortable with that. You should pick the mode that you also enjoy the most, but I would say RB is the best for this mode anyway. In SB you have quite a few imbalances, and also the issue of finding games sometimes because of those imbalances, and also AB, the multiplier just being 1, is not very nice. You also want to at least play rank 5 vehicles, or 6 or 7 or 8, because you get the higher multipliers. The 7 or 8 get 1.2, the 6 gets 1.1, and the 5 gets times 1. 1 to 4 is 0.9, so if you have some lower tier event vehicles that you really enjoy using, it's not a huge hit on the system, but it is at least a hit. So during this event, what am I generally going to focus on, and what's going to help me kind of through the event? Well, luckily, over the last few days, Gaijin has released a ton of different little events that you can do to focus on during this event itself. So, for example, the monthly decals have come out, and there's a lot of ground ones to kind of sink your teeth into, even new ones if you're a veteran player, such as the Victor of Berlin inscription, where you have to play 20 missions with USSR. Then you have the Israeli decal, where you need 60 ground destructions. Also, you have the Survivor Medal for the French, and then also stuff like the Tank Destroyer decal for Germany, where you need to destroy 50 players. So there's all of these different decals that you can focus on while you're grinding through, which means that you take your mind off the actual marks of distinction, which is really good. Obfuscation is always the way to do these types of events, because you will grind through stuff without even realizing you're grinding through it. For example, dailies are another area that you can focus on before you even look at the mark of distinction, and also special tasks as well, since the battle pass as well has a really cool vehicle that you can run basically with the T-34. You can run the T-44-FM and then the T-34-85 as a backup, which would be really cool. There's also challenges in the Battle Pass that you can focus on, such as the Forward to Victory one, which just released yesterday, where you just need to defeat one player and then win the mission. So basically a kill and a win. This is also something that you can look at in terms of grinding instead of the mark of distinction. The other part of it is just to not look at the mark of distinction itself. I know that sounds really weird, but I find it so much better when you don't just continuously look at that number increasing, and instead just play the game for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, see where it's at, and then kind of go from there. And that, at least for me, makes it a lot better. It makes it a lot easier. I'm also going to be focusing on spading certain vehicles. Now, this is not always recommended because obviously comfort is recommended during these types of events. You should play the stuff that you're comfortable comfortable with, that you get the most score with. Usually spaded vehicles, usually vehicles that you have expert crews with aced crews and all of that. But for me, I have a little bit more time than the average person to actually play for War Thunder. You know, I'm going to be streaming during this event, so if you want to come along, you want to watch the streams, you know, and ask questions, you are more than welcome to. And we'll be kind of like spading through silly things like the giraffe, for example, which I've got 50% through, which is not going to be great at getting mission score, but at the same time, it's going to be a vehicle that's going to keep me sane. Because the thing is, I like focusing on the little objectives in War Thunder in order to make the big objectives smaller, and that's how it's always worked for me. So I'll be spading stuff like the Leopard 2A4 probably for France, and also maybe another Leclerc, which I have half done, and maybe some other vehicles too. And that's how I'm going to get through the event as we go. If you want to maximize kind of score with vehicles, you want also a light tank, which does a ton of damage, and also at the same time can scout, because scouting gives you quite a lot of mission score, especially with scouting assists. You can also use the wonderful kind of bug that's going around right now with the scout planes to be able to scout the whole map, which is kind of busted, and I hope that they fix it. But you have, you know, a bunch of vehicles in a ton of different tech trees where you can do this with, right? Whether it's the Hellcats for the Americans, whether it's something like the TAM or the JPZ for the Germans, or whether for the Soviets it's some of the autocannon boys like the BMP-3s, or even the BMP-2s or 1s. There are plenty of vehicles that are really fun to be able to play kind of across the board. And if you mix and match them with doing the decals, with doing all of the other kind of little parts, then you'll actually have a really good time with it. I think also splitting your time is a good idea too. During these events, there is definitely quite a lot of burnout for people. It definitely happens in quite a big way. So if you do feel like you are kind of getting annoyed at the game, or if you are having issues with getting motivated for it, just really the best thing to do is just to put it down for a little bit, go do something else, and then come back again, right? I know people don't like doing that because they feel like they're wasting time, but when you are refreshed, when you are rejuvenated, and you play again, you'll play better, and you'll be able to get through stuff a lot easier. While playing this event, I'm going to be playing a bunch of other stuff as well. You know, we're going to be getting into more of Cubic Odyssey, which is one of Gaijin's new games that's coming out, which is kind of a mix of Minecraft and No Man's Sky. Also, at the same time, we're going to be, you know, playing a bit of SnowRunner. So playing games which are a little bit more chill, which are a little bit more relaxed, to then focus more on War Thunder, to, you know, change the way that the brain is going. And that, to me, is the best way of doing it. Try and play the event as if the event is not going on. And that is how you're going to kind of like complete it the best that you can without really having a worry in the world. And I know that can be quite hard because, you know, some people can be very, very kind of focused on specific goals. But I am also focused on specific goals, just not that specific one. I'm focused on many smaller goals to complete, which while completing them completes the larger goal too. So that's always going to be my mindset when it comes to these things. Hopefully you gleaned some insight off this, and as I said, if you have any questions, make sure to drop along the stream and ask them. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.